Hi, how's it going? I am here to share with you my 30-week pregnancy update. So I'm officially into the third trimester. So from about 28 weeks, the third trimester begins, which is pretty amazing. It's like flown in. Like, I literally can't believe I'm already 30 weeks, and I've become very emotional several times this week, just kind of with the enormity of, how far along I am and all the changes that are about to take place in our lives, with the arrival of a new baby. And I guess, yeah, it's just, I suppose there's no forgetting that I'm pregnant at this stage, because like up until now I've kind of been doing things and kind of forgotten. But it's a constant reminder, just because I'd be bumping into things or just feel bigger in general. So I guess I don't feel like I'm slowing down yet, but I'm definitely a lot more aware of my size and, of different things to do with the pregnancy as well. But I'm feeling good in general, which is so great. Like, I'm so glad I'm feeling good. So since my last update, I've had another visit from my midwife here at home, and I've also been into the maternity hospital to have my GTT, which is the glucose tolerance test, which tests for gestational diabetes. I have to do that because there's a history of diabetes in my family. It's not kind of what's recommended for everybody in Ireland anyway. But anyway, so I had to do that test, which I have done twice already in my two previous pregnancies, so I knew what was involved. But it's, yeah, I mean, it is a pain because you have to fast from, I think I had to fast from like 8 o'clock the night before, and the test was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, you're going in and you're starving, and you can't eat or drink, by the way, anything for those 12 hours. And you go in and you're given like this glucose drink, which is absolutely vile. Like, I actually didn't feel right for about 2 days afterwards, because you have to drink this drink in its entirety, and it's basically just sugar. And then, well, first of all, they take your bloods, then you drink the drink, and then an hour later they take your bloods again, and then an hour later they take your bloods again. And in all that time, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything else apart from that glucose special mixture or whatever. So anyway, by the time I'd done the third, given the third blood sample, I was like starving. So I sat down and had my lunch or my breakfast there. I'd brought a lot of food with me. But anyway, so the upshot of it is that I was not contacted afterwards, which means, you're fine. They don't bother to contact you if you don't have gestational diabetes. So I was delighted with that. So if I had come out positive for gestational diabetes, that would have been my home birth off the cards, like completely. It would have been in a new category of like high risk pregnancy with more visits to the hospital, and really that's something that I did not want. So I'm just very glad that I don't have that, and I guess I'm not really a candidate for it. I've had small babies. My daughter was 6 pounds 13 ounces. My son was 6 pounds 12 ounces. So they're not big babies. Usually that could be an indicator that you might get gestational diabetes in the future, if not on that particular pregnancy. But anyway, it's done and I don't have it, so I'm really glad of that. That also means that I don't have to go back to the hospital or any clinic or anything like that at all. Now that's that done. So that was just 3 visits that I had in the hospital. The first one was the booking visit with the initial dating scan and bloods. The second one was the anatomy scan, where they do the full scan of all the organs and everything of the baby. And then the third one was this GTT. So that's it. I don't have to go back unless there's an emergency. And my midwife, my home birth midwife now will do everything from now on, which is fantastic. Because I just trust her so much, and she's so professional, and I don't have to drive anywhere. I think about childcare for the kids. She comes to my home and we sit down and we have a chat, and she does all the checks, that they would do in the hospital anyway. And so there's just so many benefits to all that, to have that relationship with one professional, carer for me for the whole pregnancy, birth and postpartum. So my midwife and I talked a little bit about, you know, what the plan is for the birth and how I'm feeling in general. We cover so many different things. You know, if anything in particular comes up, we chat about it. She always checks my blood pressure, uses her Doppler to check the baby's heart, and she checks my urine. So that's for every single visit. She does that as well. And I feel so supported emotionally by her, and like I can talk to her about anything, because I think it's so lovely to be treated as a whole person, not just like physically checking all the physical bits, which she also does, but to see how I am doing in general, you know, and how I'm feeling and how I feel about the birth and what the plans are and how they're changing and how we can make them work for us as a family. And it's just so lovely to have that support, and that she has a relationship with my kids because she knows them. She was there for both of their births and are used to her because they're going to see her when she comes over for the birth and for after the birth, you know, for 2 weeks every day.
Is it a bit cold, Mama? What's that? The baby's heart. The baby's heart.
In general, I feel really good. I do have a little bit of pain in the pubic symphysis area. But the pubic symphysis is the joint at the front of your pelvis, and I'm very used to, you know, changing the yoga positions and stuff for women in my yoga classes when they have that. So I know about it, but I've never experienced it myself before. And I get it on and off, not very much, but I'm being really careful because I know it can escalate and it can get worse as the pregnancy continues. So I'm just really aware of that. Like, I'm making sure, like when I'm turning over at night, that I keep my knees together. I use my pregnancy pillow a lot for support at night. Even just getting in and out of the car, just to move my legs together rather than any jerky movements, because that can really exacerbate that pain. And just doing yoga and walking. I'm really trying to do 2 walks, brisk, you know, kind of power walks a week if I can. And I always feel better when I do that. And I just feel more fit and more in just good health in general. So I was saying I'm feeling, you know, a lot bigger now. I'm really feeling the size of my belly. So I'm just going to give you a quick shot of what it looks like, because it's kind of really just popped out in the last, you know, 5 weeks or so. So here you go. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah. It's getting big, right? So that's all I have really to report on my 30-week pregnancy update. I am lucky to be feeling so good. I'm being cautious because I want to continue to feel this good and just be aware of what I'm eating and how much exercise I'm getting and, you know, how much sleep I'm getting, because all of those things are really important as well, because I know once the baby comes, a lot of that can go out the window. So that's all I have for today. Thanks a million for watching, and remember to subscribe if you'd like to continue seeing these videos. And if there's anything in particular you'd like to ask me about pregnancy or birth or yoga, please feel free to put something down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a million for watching. Take care.